All right, what's up, loyal fam? Welcome back to Chelas con Chavos. Welcome to another episode. I'm your co-host John, and I'm here once again with co-host Miguel. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Looks like we're both broadcasting live from hotels, right?
Yeah, we are internet. Well, we are national right now.
National right
That's
now.
right. We're national correspondents for Estee Loyal right now.
Spreading the good word, man. I'm spreading the good word up here in LA. You're over there in the East Coast, man.
Yeah. And I'll just go ahead and get to it right now. But I'm out here for some training out here in the East Coast. But I talked to or there's somebody that I'm training with that's from Alabama, from Birmingham, and I was telling him about USL and that has some Chavos, and some Lowell supporters are going to be going to the Birmingham Alabama match, against the Legion. And he was like, "Oh, really?" He didn't know that there was that they even had a team out there. But he was telling me some good things about Birmingham. And I believe you're going to go out there, correct?
Yeah. I know. We talked about it before. We're actually thinking about doing a group trip out there as the Chavos, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, man, because it looks like it's gonna be a really nice city. It looks a little bit more of more modern, very young city. So I'm actually looking forward to taking the trip out there.
Yeah, and a drink, just like
Yeah,
how we're doing right
exactly,
now.
man.
Like, where's it at? I can't see it.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm doing the vodka. I'm doing vodka soda for right now. I gotta lose a little bit of pounds. So
Yeah, no, I'm keeping it light today too, just because I got training this week. No, but I just want to get into a little bit of comments of what the guy I was talking to. He's from well, he's originally from Detroit.
mhm.
He moved down to Birmingham for work, and he was telling me that Birmingham is actually getting really beautiful. That they're doing a lot of infrastructure work because apparently they are expecting, I believe, this year. I want to say, if I recall from what he said, some type of like summer games, some type of summer games or some type of games like national games or whatnot, almost like a mini
Huh.
Olympic type thing where they're gonna have a lot of just athletes going to Birmingham, and that they're pretty much upgrading a lot of of the areas over there, like the downtown area and the streets and stuff like that. So by the time you get there, it's gonna probably look really beautiful,
Oh
to
man.
watch Loyal.
Yeah, it says here that they are hosting the 2022 World Games.
There you go. That's what he called it. So that's almost
What?
international then, right?
Yeah, what are the World Games? I never heard of that.
Yeah,
It
I
looks
want to
like
say I heard it, but I have no idea what it's. He said it's like a pre-limp, like a mini like Olympics type thing. Um,
huh.
and so yeah, it's gonna be good for you guys. I'm out here in the South right now, and it's really beautiful. It's the first time I've ever been out here. Well, I've been in Florida before, but South Florida. I've never been, South. I guess you would call it, the southern states besides Florida. South Florida is a little bit different compared to like Georgia, Alabama, and stuff like that. But it's really beautiful out here. So anybody who's willing to go out to Birmingham, with some of the Chavos, it's going to be a good little entourage, and to check out a nice city from what it
Yeah.
appears to be.
Dude, well, check this out, man. So you're right. It's definitely it happens every year after the Olympics. And they've had this is only the second one in the United States. It looks like they had it in LA out of all places, right? Or actually Santa Clara. But check out some of these sports, dude. They have dance sports, they have baton twirling, they have bodybuilding, boomerang, they have
There you
they have miniature golf. Like, what?
go.
A military pentathlon? I don't even know what a military pentathlon is. Yeah, dude, this is crazy, man. It looks like the wild world of sports for Olympics.
And do you have the dates on that?
So the dates for the World Games 2022 are set for, let me double check here. They're opening July 7th and they're closing in July 17th. So it's going to be
Ooh.
it's going to be a packed schedule, man. So I'm hoping, yeah, that's pretty insane.
So you're gonna get there, or the loyal Birmingham Legion match is gonna pretty much be right after the event, obviously. But it looks like all the infrastructure and everything that was they spent money on to build, you guys are gonna see it. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be
Oh, that's
amazing.
pretty cool, man. We'll see how it goes. The main venue is Protective Stadium. I don't even know. Oh, that's exactly where the Birmingham Legion play.
And I'm pretty sure they're gonna be doing some upgrades to that stadium as well. So you're gonna be
Yeah,
going to a fresh. Speaking of stadiums, oh my God, we'll get to that because we got. I know you went somewhere
I did.
recently, and we'll talk about that. But hey, everybody, we have a special guest here again tonight. We're expecting Chris from the Black Diamonds again. We're just waiting for him to come on.
Yeah.
But until that happens, let's kind of fill in the minutes here and talk a little bit about some other stuff going on. Speaking of stadiums, so let's just get into it.
Mhm.
What match did you go to that the stadium just gave you the super wow?
Oh, man, I went to an LAFC versus Portland for the US Open Cup. And I got to say, man, for a US Open Cup, I mean kind of like comparing it to what we did for LA Galaxy, the LAFC fans really showed up. And I don't know if it was just because of the opponent they played, because they did play Portland, but that's my first time ever being in that stadium. That's my first time even being like close to the vicinity of that stadium. And the second that you were just walking up, and the second you see that whole environment, I just started, you know, I just started wishing this was in San Diego, man. It's
Yeah,
I mean, just the atmosphere, the way the whole stadium is just kind of designed, and to kind of keep the fan atmosphere and to keep the fan level noise like just super high. It just blew my mind, man. And it wasn't a very fancy stadium. It was kind of very similar to Dignity Health. There was a lot of there was a lot of small stands, like a lot of small food stands. There was a lot of beer spots. There was a lot of like trailers and stuff like that selling merch. Um and but then the difference was the supporter section for LAFC. I sat on the other end over in the 220 area, and I brought some friends here from the military. For a lot of them, actually for all of them, it was their first soccer game ever. And
oh nice.
yeah, I told them, I was like, "Hey, look, I don't know what to expect. It's a US Open Cup match. Maybe people might not show up." The only downside I would say about that stadium is that the there's only one exit off the freeway to get there, and it takes a long time, man. The traffic there is pretty bad. It's almost right on the campus of USC, but the atmosphere itself kind of just pays off, for that traffic. I mean, it's Los Angeles, right? There's traffic everywhere. Um,
Yeah,
and just sitting up in that area in that section, you start hearing all their songs, and you just get the chills. I mean, because there were all I mean, that section got packed. They were all there. There were so many flags, and they had their drums lined up in a single section up top, kind of like towards the middle of the entire supporter section. And they're just, it's very coordinated, very well. The you got the couples in the front of the front row, just kind of like cheering everybody on. You got a few couples in the middle too, getting everybody going, and you could feel the entire energy throughout the whole stadium, and it wasn't just in their area. And that's what I was saying. I don't know if you guys saw my post, but the roof really makes a big difference. And I'm not
yeah,
saying, not knocking on, LAFC fans. They were definitely loud. They definitely brought it, but containing that noise brings an entire different dimension to a soccer
yeah,
game, especially in the United States. It's something I've never actually seen before here. I've been trying to go to a lot of MLS games or any kind of MLS games with with the fan base like that, and they killed it, man. And I don't like I said, I don't know if it's just a stadium or whatever, but I mean, they had their entire supporter section was just right there, cheering, jumping, playing drums. They were into it. The fans on the other side of the stadium, like all around the stadium, were getting into it, and it just really made me wish that the people in San Diego really knew what they were missing out on. You know?
yeah. Was it a packed house compared to when Loyal played against Galaxy?
It was way more packed than the Loyal versus Galaxy. It wasn't a sold out stadium by any means, but if I were to have to guess, it was probably about 60 to 65% full. And I can't even imagine what it's like when it's full. And
Yeah,
luckily I was able to, I showed up with my Chavos scarf, San Diego Padre hat, did not hide anything. Everybody was super nice. Everybody was super welcoming. Just like down in LA and in the Galaxy game. I mean, everybody's just a soccer fan, and I think I made some soccer fans, like out of my coworkers here in the military. So they definitely
yeah,
got that experience, and I told them about it. It's like I told them it gets like that. That's what we do in Torero, but probably about 10% of that. So
yeah, yeah,
we're still trying to work on that, man. And you know
yeah.
how it is, dude. But it's just I mean, it really made me wish that even if it's a small stadium, man, we just need a roof. We need something to contain that noise.
So what was the result of that match?
LA Galaxy, I'm sorry,
Right.
LAFC really dominated. It wasn't even it wasn't even a close game. They won 2-0. They scored 2 beautiful goals. There was one that was a back heel flip coming from a low cross. And there was another one that was just a clear, like an not open goal, but it was a rebound. And I don't know the LAFC players too well, but it was a rebound coming to the middle of the middle of the goalkeeper area,
Yeah.
and somebody just had a clear shot to the
Mhm.
goal. I really got to do a better job of trying to pick up those MLS games, but because we don't see
Yeah.
them, and I don't have a horse in that race. I really don't pay attention to it that much. But
Yeah.
I definitely became a fan of the environment. I think I'm gonna start making a point to go to more MLS games.
Yeah, definitely. I think we learned so much as a supporters group, along with locals too, going up to the Open Cup match against Galaxy. And speaking about the stadium situation again, how you mentioned it, how Snapdragon's getting built. Nothing's been announced yet from Loyal that we're going to be playing there, but we all know ST Wave's going to be playing there. Yeah, I believe like their last two home matches, right? And I definitely plan on going. I believe the one against Angel City from Los Angeles. I believe that's going to be an awesome game. Angel City is attracting a big crowd from LA. Like when they played at the Bank,
Mhm.
I think recently it was a packed house once again. And the last pod, where I was, just kind of tug in cheek, just kind of saying that, hey, man, who knows what's going to happen with the whole Midway situation here in San Diego, or well, here I'm not even there, over there in San Diego, you know what I mean? But uh, and I was like, man, I wouldn't even care about just getting some like baseball field, over in Chula Vista, and then just have Loyal put in like $300,000 to renovate it and just make it our own. Even but make it kind of how like Al Lang, the Tampa Bay Rowdies home, Al Lang Stadium, and then we'll talk about New
Portland.
Mexico right now, but just like Isotopes Park, yeah, not of course not every club wants to be playing at a baseball stadium, but like Al Lang Stadium, for example, I think it looks beautiful. Like they kind of made it distinct in essence, where it's a soccer stadium now, but they just had like it used to be a baseball stadium,
Yeah,
but
and
they just go ahead.
oh no, so yeah, I was actually gonna sorry to interrupt, but I was saying Portland is a perfect example because that stadium used to be home to the
Exactly,
Portland Beavers, and now I mean
exactly.
they turned it into one of the premier soccer arenas in North America.
Yeah, and that who knows? There could be conversations with like Southwestern College or some baseball stadium or park area over in Chula Vista somewhere. I'm not really too familiar with Chula Vista. I'm not from over there, but again, I'm just really jealous of these USL clubs that hey, they're playing at a baseball stadium, but they're making it their own. I
Yeah,
think getting into our situation again. I get a lot of emails from Orange County, soccer club in Phoenix, as well. Because the reason why I'm getting emails from them is because when we were playing them, I was trying to remember like when COVID was going on, and then you know uh, Loyal was going over to Chandler, but they were only selling tickets to like Phoenix Rising
yeah,
supporters.
yeah.
So I was faking the funk, pretending that I was a Rising supporter just so I can get tickets to go.
And they just take it
so
off and throw it on the ground.
yeah, I know, like, hey guys, haha, screw you. I'm actually a loyal fan, and I'm just like in the middle of all of the banditos and stuff, and
Oh
who knows
man.
what's gonna happen. No, but I still get the emails from them, but you can kind of tell that having your own stadium, there's way more opportunities because like I get emails from Orange County as well, and I'm getting like beer fest, taco festival at OCSC's playing against whatever club, and it's gonna be like the Cinco de Mayo type celebration. We're gonna be having like taco food trucks and beer fest and all these things.
Yeah.
And it's like we could do so much more. Having our own facility, our own stadium, and right now we're limited on what we can do. And I think having that will bring more people, obviously, to the games. And I think how we mentioned, how we talked about it. You just mentioned it now. How LAFC, the culture they're providing, as far as supporters groups. How you just said that you took people from the military, friends of yours, and how they
Yeah.
liked it, and they liked the ambiance, and how we liked it when we went to Galaxy, the stadium situation, and Snapdragon is there, and there's a high probability we're going to be playing there, but it just doesn't really feel like it's going to be ours.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what my fear is. I don't want to be you know, a small fish in a big pond, especially when it comes to law, because we know what we're capable of. We know what the team is capable of and who they can attract. Um, and I think unfortunately right now it's with playing at Torero, it's going to keep that ambiance very intimate, and it's still a fantastic venue for us to play at right now. I'm not knocking Torero by any means, but if we want to grow as a club, we need to be able to find somewhere that we can grow organically and not just like, hey, okay, boom, you guys need a stadium. Here's 37,000 seats, fill it. Like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
impossible. But I mean, you never know, man. It's just we still have a lot of work to do based on what I saw at the game yesterday. For to get a complete MLS franchise, and it's very apparent. Um, but other than that, I mean, I'm super excited, man. It's just it's hopefully that Midway project, really shows up, man. It really pans out because I want to see that. And
yeah,
whoever's designing the stadium, dude, just put a roof on it. We're begging you, just put a roof on it.
yeah.
So
Now moving
actually,
along with
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, finish your thought.
Oh, well, yeah, no, actually, well, speaking of which, I mean, we actually Chris just joined us, so we're gonna go ahead and bring
Okay.
him on and talk a little bit of smack on the 1-1
Yeah.
tie here from the Oracle. So here it is. Hey, Chris, how's it going today, bud?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
¿Qué pasa, Chris?
Oh, what are we drinking here? So I gotta find out.
Oh,
I'm
I'm,
think
oh, I'm
I'm trying to keep my figure, so I'm drinking a vodka soda over here.
Oh, because it looks like water,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Man, it's
vodka
not
soda,
like that much vodka this time.
huh? Okay, okay. Well, I got this Ex Novo, the Blue Ox. It's a
Oh,
nice.
oh yeah, there you
Let
go.
me get a little close here. There we
that's
go.
wow.
Yeah.
Is that a
So,
That looks
local New Mexico brewery?
yeah. Well, they're out of Portland, and they also have a spot here. It's a
Okay.
wild ale fermented on blueberries.
Oh,
So,
woo.
yeah, this is
Looks
one of
dangerous.
those. Yeah, this is one of those you're going to probably put on records afterwards.
jeez, fancy.
Yeah, and I got me the J Balvin edition of Miller Lite. How about that? I gotta keep it light
Okay.
today.
Okay. Okay.
I got to work tomorrow, guys. I got some
I
training
know,
to do
same here,
tomorrow.
man.
Yeah.
I know. Plus, there's not a
But
whole lot. I mean, there's a lot of good beer options up here in Los Angeles, but I'm just trying to, right now. I just I gotta keep the figure. I mean, I've been drinking a lot of beer and recently, so I gotta make sure that I can still do my military job.
Yeah. That
I
makes
know.
sense.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Chris, you actually came right on time because I was actually moving on. We're talking about stadium situations. Miguel was talking about how he went to the LAFC match against Portland, the Open Cup match, and we're talking about just like the great, ambiance that the Banc has. And I was gonna
Right.
get into the match against New Mexico United and ST Loyal, where the attendance was on record here 12,079, which is great. For that's almost capacity, right?
Um. Yeah, it's almost seated capacity. Like it's
Yeah.
still into the 13 number. I think like for what I told you guys last time, like 13.5 or something along those lines, as far as actual seats in the Isotopes Stadium.
Yeah, well, that's a great crowd, and that's obviously a way more than what Torero Stadium holds. So, but we're just talking about how I was again I mentioned it again, but I was kind of tongue in cheek last pod that we did
Mm-hmm.
that I don't care if Estee Lowell needs to play on a damn baseball pitch. I just make it into a soccer stadium. Make it our own, and it will be like a lot of other USL clubs that play on baseball stadiums. But you make it your own, right? You kind of renovate it and you make it your own. It kind of has a unique look to it, which I think is great.
Yeah, I mean that's what anyone would want to do. I think the baseball pitch thought for the most part is it's a bigger capacity. It's a chance for you to just pack folks in there, right? Because chances are they were going to the stadium for the baseball games anyways, and you're just basically trying to give space so that you could put more folks in. You know what I mean? Like if your space only
Yeah.
holds 6,000, Lloyd, then you can only do 6,000. But if you
Right.
think that having a spot where it's like 8,000 is going to allow you to have that two more thousand, like chances are you're gonna keep selling. You're gonna come up with more ways to fill that up. Like it always kind of seems to work that way.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've also
Exactly.
noticed too with like with when it comes to baseball stadiums, a lot of the grandstand seating, especially like in the outfield, is kind of tend to tailor more towards seating towards like facing the pitcher. So whenever there's a ball coming out on the side, you could I mean I it's not that I'm not saying anything, but not saying anything negative, but you could tell there was some fans that would just have to kind of stand up and then kind of look over to the left because that's where the play was going, right? And unfortunately, that's one of the bad parts about baseball stadiums. And we were actually just talking earlier about how Portland turned their baseball stadium into a full on soccer pitch. But that was one of the way they designed Portland was a little bit older, kind of like Fenway Park, where it was just straight ahead, facing the field. So it kind of just made sense, right? So I don't know if have you guys ever been to Boston to a Red Sox game?
No.
I got a
No.
chance to go a few years ago, and it's really crazy. So when you're sitting down the third baseline, you're literally just facing the 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 left fielder. So when you want to see a pitch, everybody's looking to the right. But if you have like 200 people looking to the right, and they all kind of like lean forward, and next thing you know, you're just kind of standing up, and you have to actually see the pitcher. So I mean that
Oh, okay.
it still looks like Isotope is probably a little bit of a newer ballpark as well. So they probably have their seats all centered towards the pitching mound, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's about the field. The pitch is about centered at like how would I say it? Your its center pitch is maybe about just past third base. I mean,
Okay.
well, it definitely is past third base, I should say.
Yeah.
Um, it's more like that shy outfield, if you will. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
still kind of more of the infield than the deep portions of the outfield.
Yeah.
That's about where I would say center pitch is regarding the seats.
Yeah. Is it a smaller field compared to most like most USL teams that you've been at?
Yeah, because it's not as wide, right? It's not
Mhm.
wide like the way
Yeah.
RGV's pitch is wide. It's like a giant square,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have some of that going on.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, hey, so we'll say this. We'll bring up more news about stadiums in the future. We'll just see what we'll keep note of what's been going on with the stadium situation here. But hey, Chris. So give us the word. Give us how y'all experienced the game. It was a 1-1. Great matchup. You got the prediction, if I recall. So how was it? What's the word on the streets over there in New Mexico?
New Mexico is happy. How do I put it? Two things, I think. For the folks that are just going to be positive all the time, never going to be on the Facebook Nation burning the house down or freaking out. They're happy for the point, right? They're happy it's not a loss because it was obviously looking that way for a while.
Yeah.
The folks who, how do I want to classify them as, like, the folks who maybe, they would probably say, yeah, I'm also a fan too, but I believe you could be critical of your team, and you know what I mean. Like, one day you
Yeah.
love them, one day you don't love them. You take your hat, you throw it on the ground. The next day you pick it up and you dust it off and you put it
Yeah.
back on because it's the relationship of sports. They would say, different year, same team. It's about average, right? And I
Yeah.
mean, you could gauge that. I mean, look at the table, like Lou City, like some of these teams, like are very clearly at the top
Yeah.
of their, you know what I mean, sitting with like 21 points and then
Hmm.
some.
Yep.
So there's some disparity, right? So those fans would just say, like, well, I haven't seen anything new. Like, this is a new coach, but the experience feels like year three still. So I think that there's a differencing of opinions. I mean, for me, my own thought about it is like, and I was kind of, when I was preparing an article that I didn't get to release just because my phone died, which really it sucks. What a
Technology,
casualty.
man.
I'll tell you what, man. I was trying to finish that article at the beginning of the tailgate, and I was like, all right, I'm paying attention to you, and I'm also writing this article. And then sure enough, it died. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just not going to be able to release this. But what I was saying is, like, you know, United's best start literally was year one. They didn't lose
Yeah.
until the 14th match of the season, and that's when they were deep in the Open Cup run. They were losing. They lost. They tied the or they lost the first league match to Sacramento at home, and then it was a little different story. But then the second year, they started out pretty well. I was really kind of focused on 7 matches in because that's just where we were at. So what I was trying to entail was that this year and last year maybe are the more slower starts, but this year definitely the slowest as far as the amount of points that they have on the table through 7 matches. And so now with them sitting with 10 points, um, is it 10 points? I believe it is. Uh,
Yes.
Now with them sitting with 10 points through 8 matches, it's still not really better than last season, technically. They had more points still at that point in time. So, the game's great because of the amount of fans that are there
Hmm.
and the energy that's kind of pumping, right? But something ultimately still has to give for Zach Prince to be able to change the experience, right? Like, if he goes
Yeah.
and throws on 7 wins right now, like just like hits a streak of 7, oh, it's a different season. It'll definitely feel different for folks.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of like win, lose, draw, win, lose, draw, lose, win, draw, lose, win. You know what I mean? It's still kind of one of each result.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you guys went ahead and, like, say you won 2 and then everybody else above you guys lost 1, I mean, you guys have a potential to jump from number 9 to number 5. And that's the best part about, like, when you have schedules like these. And and it's kind of like this is our first time experiencing a schedule with the entire USL roster.
That's right.
I mean, we've never seen most of these guys before, and it's actually very exciting for us. Um and just like, I mean, we got Colorado coming over here, right? I think, have we ever played Colorado? I think we played them once last season, maybe.
Oh, who'd you play in the playoffs?
I No,
San Antonio.
we lost to San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think we ever had a chance to actually play Colorado. So I mean, they're sitting first place with us right now. I mean, they're sitting in first place of our division, but I
Right.
mean, I've never seen them.
And
So that's
yeah, and that's going to be a true test for you because, I mean, they just emerged last season.
Yeah, and I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about, and this is for a San Diego Loyal team. This is actually our very first, the first time we get to actually flex our muscle, or not even. I don't even call it muscle right now, man, because that was a th- I'm one of those critical people that you're talking about, man. It's like, yeah, it was a tie, but Oh my god, man! It was a tie at the last possible second. Again, it was just I
I mean,
hate.
it had to feel, it had to be like anguish, like it just had to be, right? Because y'all were up. It had the same scenario, and then for people who went into the game real hopeful,
Yeah,
when they were down 1-0, they were like, oh well, like they're probably thinking in their minds like, oh, put in Ilya Illich because he'll, kick it from the side again, and it'll be this sort of thing. But I mean, look at it for what it was. Like I think I dubbed it the back to back late equalizer block party or something along those lines, because it was just like, like I mean,
yeah.
there was a way for
And
us
it's
to
not
kind of
it's
crawl
and
back in.
this is just like, it's just very this is becoming like a I don't know, it's just becoming a Cinderella. I mean, it's becoming a story for us, man. We go on the road, we get ahead, and then all of a sudden we lose it like in the 95th, 94th minute. And it's getting to the point where it's very frustrating, it's exhausting, and I don't know I don't know how else to vent the frustration other than we need a better solid line in the back.
Yeah, because
I
you
mean,
guys had it won, and
we did.
and a year ago you had it won
Yeah.
too. Like you were in it. You know what I mean? And for something like that to kind of pop out, it's crazy because New Mexico isn't like a team where, oh, they're gonna find a way to get that goal in the last minute. Like that isn't the makeup of our team. That's the makeup of El Paso.
Mhm.
El Paso does that. Like that's just not our DNA. If you look at our matches, we're either out there or or we're up and then we may concede that one. So there's teams who jump in like Orange County, kind of crawled back in when they came to our spot. We're probably
Yeah.
more known for like letting the one in. So let me ask you guys, how do you feel? Like, have you seen enough matches like that besides our two? Like, how do you feel when you're up and then all of a sudden the final moments are coming? Do you almost anticipate that somehow it's going to happen again?
You
Oh
want the
hell
first?
yeah! Well, let me comment first on that one because
Yeah,
yeah,
go
I
for
think
it,
this
man.
is like it's almost like the eighth or tenth time in the past 2 years we've seen it, right, Miguel?
Dude,
Like
like I said, it's getting crazy.
it's like our kryptonite. Like I feel like when Landon sees 90 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, he's already like nervous as hell. Biting his fingers, his fingernails. Like and when I saw that goal go in on the 94th minute, I was just like, you got to be freaking kidding me again. And it's like I don't know what the whole management style. Well, obviously we were short. We had a red card for Colin Martin. So obviously, you would always would assume that New Mexico was going to try to push forward, but it did still seem how you said that we were going to barely sneak out of there. But San Diego did the San Diego thing. It's been going on the past 2 years, and it's like losing in the last minute. And I don't know what the mentality is or Landon's game plan, but he's doing something. Either parking the bus, if you want to call it, or something like that. But there's something that needs to change there, where you got to maintain the ball and just push forward, or even just the possession. But you have to have some kind of offensive a thought on there, because look what happened. You guys got the ball, and push forward, and then got a goal. So, but it's something that we're starting to get known for. That the commentators are already, noting that as well. But that's something that whenever we see 90 minutes, and we're winning, and then there's even a minute or two, stoppage time, we're already like nervous, right, Miguel?
Yeah, and I've always been like, I mean, I've been playing soccer for a long time, and I've been watching soccer for a long time, and you can the second they start loading the defensive side, you always have a feeling like, oh man, just gonna drop back, and all these opportunities are gonna happen, and there's gonna be that one that goes in, and that's what we end up doing all the time. I mean, it feels like 1-0, we shouldn't be dropping back that much. I don't care if we want to play defense, whatever. The momentum stays the same until you give them that momentum, the attacking momentum. So when you start bringing in defenders or more defensive minded players, you're giving
Yeah.
them you're giving them that opportunity to be able to grab the ball and move up and score. We just have to make sure we don't do that anymore. That's but unfortunately that's not. we're not one of those teams. We're not the Club de Cuervos where we text, the next the next move that the club should make, for like the 50th minute. But sometimes it kind of feels like I wish we had that kind of team where we all just vote on what the next move on the pitch is going to be. But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm tired of it, man. I'm sick of it.
yeah.
That's that's
That's how
that's
we
four that's
feel.
4 points.
Yeah, and that's how we feel when we play Phoenix, right? I mean, well, anytime you can, I mean, like you guys have already gotten over the hump. You've already beat them, and that's a good thing. We still haven't, and anytime we're up on them or we got that moment, it's like, all right, good. Then it's just like, all right, they can't get another opportunity, and when they do, it's just like, it's just like for us to play them 2 times this season and like have unfortunate ways that they scored each time just really
Yeah.
sucks. Like the guy kicks the ball, it deflects off the guy's body, and the goalkeeper just, I don't know, he lost it in the lights. Maybe you know what I mean? He jumped too
Yeah.
early, and then it was like, damn, dude, that's how it happened. Like, it's not even like really a shot, and no one should really take credit for that. Like, if he stayed on his feet, he would have caught the ball. It was just, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? But you just think like, oh man, this ball's coming. You don't know who's probably coming after it. So, yeah, unfortunate, man. Like we have been unlucky, but this one was cool. Like I really did think y'all were gonna just kind of pull it out with that 1-0 because when a team is averaging 1 goal, it is really hard, like to find two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was something else.
So yeah, there was one thing that was for sure, that was Vassell's going to score, and he did, and that's becoming our thing, man. Vassell's going to score at
Yeah,
some
that's your
point.
guy. That's your guy right there, right?
That's him, man. He's the 9, man. He's
So you
gonna
guys
he's gonna
owe him a
make it
taco
happen
or
one way or
what?
another. I'm sorry.
You guys owe him a taco when you get home or what?
Oh, we gotta get more tacos, man, because it's taco power, dude. That's working out for us so far.
Yeah. The taco
Yeah,
power.
I've been seeing that. So the club like lets y'all like basically this guy. When does he meet up to get the taco? How does that go down?
I don't know,
And
man. We're gonna have to set up a schedule. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to happen now because we gotta keep this momentum going, man. He's keeping us in the game. His goals are just keeping us alive, man. And
yeah,
we have to make sure that it
what a
happens.
cool little thing you guys do. That taco thing was pretty bomb. I saw I think the video where he walks up and gets it, and it's like
Yeah.
okay. I
Hey
like
Miguel,
that.
we have to there has to be an official like Chavos taco there now, like at Torero. We have to tell like what is it, Belinda's?
Dude,
And say,
that's a
hey,
good
you have to
idea.
make a
Yeah,
Chavos taco.
that
So
is a
and then
very good idea.
But is it
let
gonna be
us
a
sell.
regular taco or is it gonna be like a choco taco?
Oh no, it'll probably be like, oh man, that's a great idea. You know how the locals give away a pint of beer? We could just give away a taco.
Yeah.
That's
It
a
have to be like a
great
big ass
idea.
taco.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it up. It's copyrighted. Yeah, don't bite that idea. That's ours.
Yeah.
To all the listeners out there, that's our idea.
That's too good.
Hey Chris, so I wanted to ask you. So how was the ambiance? We like talking about supporters, culture a lot here and Chelas con Chavos. But so how was the ambiance? Having Landon Donovan there, and having the buzz of having ST Loyal there and with Landon Donovan and obviously you guys came out with a good result in essence. So how was it in the stadium and around for tailgating and around the stadium?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like kind of give you the contrived experience from others because the sun was cooking that day, man, and I didn't make it inside. I was just hearing the sounds from my car while I was watching it in my car, so it was just
Okay.
kind of under the weather. But I can tell you this much, definitely from folks who are brand new, is I think some of the words I saw on the internet, and I'll cycle down to people who were there, but some folks definitely felt like their stadium cherry was popped. I guess you would say they
Yeah.
felt like there was like a ton of folks there. But I mean, like as far as other supporters and everyone was just kind of saying, it was looming, right? Because
Mhm.
like I think a little piece of that to give credit to y'all is the 6-pack of San Diegans that came to the tailgate and were kind of around passing out beer. Markland and and Tay eventually came around and so I think that folks were just like, hey, who are these guys? They're pretty cool. And it just kind of, for one, it probably set up the idea that it was like kind of like a friendly with a team that she like still kind of want to get the win on, you know?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
certainly like kind of that vibe. I think I've heard. Um, of course, everyone's just tense for the full 90 because like we're not doing so well, and so everyone's just very critical. Like the like after the fact, the internet wasn't like swirling with all kinds of positive police saying, "Don't say that negative thing. You're not a fan," because I think it's probably really overwhelming to them that like every week, like there's going to be like a line of people talking about what they wish would change.
yeah,
Um, but when I'm there, typically like in those types of settings, the ambiance is always going to be like you're up against it, you're anticipating the next move. Don't look down because something's probably going to happen, or the ball's probably going to be like coming like full speed at your
Yeah.
face. Things like that. That noise. But yeah, I mean, folks loved it. People dug it. Like it was crazy because I was sitting there watching it, and I was watching people leave, and there were a lot of people that left like probably 10 minutes before it even ended because of just the way that the match was going, right?
yeah.
And so, folks would then hear over the big speaker, like, go New Mexico, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it was like, people were like, yeah, we're right back in it. So I think that was the essence of it at the end was just this reemergence, and oh, what if we just had 5 more minutes? We probably could have found the second one
Yeah.
too, and you know what I mean. So
Most likely, I'm pretty sure. The way we're playing. With
I
stop
know.
this time.
yeah,
Just a
yeah, but
little PSA
it.
announcement for anybody out there: if you ever go to a game when you're playing the Loyal at home, just stay the whole game because you'll probably end up coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I wish I could have rolled in, but I wasn't feeling too tip top. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just kind of watch it in this ride and just kind of work it out, and then by the end of the night, I'll be back. So of course, we all tailgated after the match too. So we just kind of chilled. Some folks got back on the grill, had the carne asada going. You know what I mean? So that was a good time, and all kinds of chats about the legendary Fiesta Island um, pregame
It's gonna happen,
tailgater.
man.
Yeah. All kinds of people were like, "Oh, I was jealous. I heard about this last year. We got to do that when
Yeah.
we're in San Diego." So all kinds of people want to invade the island now,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys got a
Yeah.
bigger group, and we have a bigger group now. So who knows, man? We might be taking over like a good part of that section.
right?
Yeah, and I can't wait for that too. So when you guys come down, try to invite as many New Mexico supporters to come out. They're definitely going to be treated and welcomed with a nice Chavos taco. So maybe we'll make that a thing. And maybe Kyle Vassell will come out too and eat a few with us too.
Man,
Yeah, we'll throw out the invite to any San Diego Loyal out there. Next time New Mexico comes out, coming out the night before to Fiesta Island. You heard it here first. I mean, come on out. You're all more than welcome. But it was actually like speaking to that. I mean, I saw Taylor did go. Taylor, for anybody who doesn't know, he's one of the leadership group for the locals, and he's also a member of the Chavos. I saw him go out there. He said he kind of works out there most of the time, so that was actually pretty nice for him.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then we
Well,
also had
yep.
our boy Lance too. He was doing a whole like also like a chronological, like documentation of his. He rode his motorcycle out
Oh
to
wow,
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool, man, to see him
yeah,
doing
that is
that.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
He just
Lance too, so that was cool. That was good stuff.
super
he
nice
did
dude.
some he did some motorcycle diaries heading out to New Mexico,
I
which was
learned a lot about
awesome.
bugs. I learned a lot about bugs.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah,
That's
when
awesome.
and when New Mexico comes down to play against Este Lowell, that's over on October 9th at 6 p.m. Right, so October is a beautiful time of the year out here too.
Right.
Beautiful, still, good weather, 75, 80 degrees over by the beach.
Is
So
that a
that's gonna be.
Saturday?
That
I do
October
not
9th.
know.
Let's see.
Okay.
Uh, we're all looking at our calendar. Like, yeah, October 9th. That's actually the second to last. That's the second to last game of the season. Yeah, I believe it is a Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
There
a
you go.
second last game. So by then we'll probably have we'll both probably have clinched the playoff spot. So It'll be
Right,
more
right,
visitor
right.
friendly for us. Like we'll see.
Hopefully, so it'll just be like a good old time, a good old hurrah right there, and just eat some carne asada and some Chavos tacos on Fiesta Island.
So actually, I'm seeing here October 9th is actually a Sunday, so it's a Sunday
Oh,
game. Yeah.
No,
hey, that's not bad though. Probably an earlier game then.
yeah, even better. Saturday at Fiesta Island, and then Sunday the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
so that's good.
Yeah. So I mean, other than that, I mean, like, so actually going back to our conversation from last week, when you were explaining, what the black diamonds are and stuff like that, and how you guys
Yeah,
got started, I actually went down the uh the rabbit hole of Atlanta United because I was looking,
okay.
I was looking at black supporter culture and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and like African American kids, playing the sport from young, and I went down the Atlanta United rabbit hole and how the entire culture they create out there, with Waka Flocka and like and
yeah,
and it was just it was insane. It was actually really good reads, and just like a lot of the videos that they have and a lot of the production quality, and it actually gets you pretty pumped, man. And so so actually, I had a question for you. Like, how has your community kind of like been like embracing you guys? As far as other supporter cultures embrace the Black Diamonds, and what you guys are trying to do.
I think like I'd say like if you look at like the curse, like they're a member of the curse that are obviously Black Diamond members as well, and so there's a good amount of those folks that definitely support what we're doing. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone doesn't for the most part. I think sometimes like the things you hear down the grapevine are like why do they do this or why do they do that? You know what I mean? But that just warrants a conversation, which I mean I'm always happy to have with anyone. But like like we do our tailgate, right? And so
Hmm.
we set up in a spot south of the lot, which is kind of away from all the other groups in essence. And it's called, but we call it the Diamond District. And really, we moved over there. We kind of knew we were going to move over there late last season because we were thinking about developing our tailgate dynamic, right? And so, I'm already like kind of researching, looking at other supporters groups by this point in time, going, okay, like if we're over there, we can also have DJs as well because we know the Curse likes to have DJs. We know that Lama DCon, the bar SG, that they like to, put the speakers in the back of the pickup and kind of play music too. And so we were like, well, we don't want to necessarily have anyone to not be able to enjoy their tailgate, right? So we were like, well, let's just move over there. It's not too far away. People can come around. Like if you've been to Warped Tour, you walk around, right, and
Hmm.
check out stuff. And so we set up over there, and that allowed us to have DJs. That allowed us to kind of run our own little circuit over there. And anytime we want to be creative and do something, that's what we do. And so that's why we're over there, right? But I mean, sometimes I think, and what I've heard earlier in the year is like, I see some folks maybe misconstrued, like, oh, like they're being they're being divided over there. And it's like, nah, dude, we're really not. We're actually just kind of trying to figure out our dynamic. We're a first year kind of group, and we're trying to figure out what we like to do. Like, what if we want to turn on my dad's like backyard hits from the '70s and like turn it up real loud, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're playing like turn this mother out. Like, I mean, we're getting that thing going. You know what I mean? Like, you just want a good time, and
yeah,
sometimes you can't do that when everyone's all up on each other, like you just can't. Like
yeah,
there's not enough room. You just want to, like, hey,
yeah,
aren't we just in a pandemic? Like, why do you want to be all up on me again? Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I discovered freedom when you were 6 feet away, and now I like it, right? So I mean, that's kind of our thing. But I think that for the most part, like that message is getting out like loud and clear about what it is. Like this last weekend, or we set up with everyone, but that was really because the parking lot was real stacked out. There was a state track meet going on at the time, and so it really. I kind of thought we were going to end up set up with everyone because one, Tito from Chavos de Loyal, or that's you guys. Tito from Maurician, this Wildberry Ale is hitting me right now because I'm about halfway through. But so Tito from Maurician was hitting me up, and he was like, "Hey." He's like, "Would you guys come set up here?" And I was like, "Yeah, we might. I mean, it's going to be kind of an audible game time decision. We're going to have to see like how everyone's feeling." But the lot was so packed and the parking was so crazy that we were like, all right, cool. You know what? We're going to cancel our DJs and we're going to come set up with y'all. We did, and we liked it. We still kind of came down to the thing of like, okay, well, what do we do when, we want entertainment too? And I think we're kind of coming up with something that we can maybe present to the other groups where it could rotate entertainment. Someone's maybe in charge of it each week or something along those lines is what we're maybe trying to see if that's a pitch that we can do. And
Yeah.
we might be up to like setting up with everyone half the time and then still doing our own dynamic too the other half of the time. So we're working on some stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I think I said everyone is accepting us or learning more about us, and it's kind of cool being obscure. I'll be honest with you. I mean, anyone who's getting to know about us knows about us because we share into the other channels, right? Like if we share something and we tag the club on Instagram, obviously then they're going to share into their story. So then that's where someone might first learn about us, or you know what I mean? Or we're just out doing something in the community and we got these, pink like scarves on and people are like, dude, what's that? What's going on with that? Or, you know what I mean? So every day I'm still trying to figure out different ways to get us out there,
Yeah, so you gotta spread the word organically. That's all it is, right?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I think sometimes you just gotta be like a flash mob, probably. Like you might have to be like you guys and just bust out somewhere, like in the middle of
Start playing drums.
No, and just but just like come out with Chavos tacos, you know what I mean, and just in a place where there's probably not going to be any tacos at,
God, I'm hungry for tacos now, man.
You just made me think of something, Chris. But over here, Chavos, like we have a very diverse group, and a lot of the members are always like, hey, let's go to a baseball game and just bring some drums and just cause a ruckus. Hey, let's go to we have a member that's a DJ or I'm sorry, plays DJ and plays in the band, right?
Yeah.
And say, hey, let's go tear up this bar and just invite all the Chavos and just go wild. But it kind of makes me think of like just like how you just said, like just go somewhere, like just some like just obscure place, like that no one thinks that we're gonna be, and then just start bringing out drums and just going haywire, and everyone's like who the heck are these people? Like, but that's just a way to grow. Like the name, the supporters group, and then people are going to be asking because we've had that before, right, Miguel? Like people, when we were barely starting our watch parties over at Novo, Brazil.
Yeah,
people
we had
were coming up to us, and like, who are you guys? We want to buy those scarves from you, and we're like, hey, hold up, hold up.
Yeah, and it wasn't just anybody either.
Posers in here, okay?
Yeah,
yeah, and it wasn't just anybody either. So I don't know if you know, but we have actually an official recognized Barcelona supporters group out here in San Diego, and they do most of the watch parties down in Novo. And yeah, they came up and they were just like, hey, like we really like what you guys are doing. I mean, they're always watching the game. They're on Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, and that was actually pretty cool to see. And even when we go to like to Deft, um, that's a brewery. It's really close to the stadium to where we're at, and we see a lot of a lot of loyal fans that kind of show up. But they see it through our Instagram. They hear it through through Twitter. Like hey, we're gonna be there. They know we're gonna be there, and they just kind of want to come check it out. See what it's about. And that's the way you kind of just get the people to keep showing up, right?
But do you think like this is the thoughts I always have about it is like it's kind of cool to not be so widely known because then you get a chance to do stuff that again is more accustomed to you. Like if you wanted to do like the community picnic type vibe, like you're just gonna set up somewhere in a park and just like serve up tacos and because like hey, maybe we can like generate some members in this area because this area is another hotbed near like where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be strategic like that. You can do community picnics or barbecues and just serve up dogs or burgers or tacos and waters and and then basically use that space to educate people about your group, about the purpose, and and that is going to go so much of a longer space or a longer way because you're creating now a pop-up opportunity to like invite people into a space that you've made, right? And so that's why we, like I said, that's why we like it because we could be creative. Like we do supporters lunches sometimes to kind of community build with the other supporters group. So we'll choose a spot that we want to go to, and then we just invite people, and we just kind of wait to see who shows up. And sometimes we've had full other groups show up, and that was a time for us to kind of build, break bread with them. And other times it was like new members who popped out, like pretty soon here we're going to go to like an Ethiopian restaurant. We're going to order up like the food and kind of do like a like kind of like a community park picnic, if you will. And so we just try to, that's how we're breaking the barriers, and how we're essentially opening people up to Black Diamonds is through cultural engagements.
Yeah. No, we're trying to do almost very similar things, and it is an organic growth, right? You're gonna have a lot of people, and you're right. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, there's something about having a group that's not very like well known that kind of brings that sense of belonging.
Yeah,
Especially when you kind of go out and do that stuff. But the cool part about it, for us, is like we'll open up the invitation to anybody. If you want to come out, enjoy it, good. If you don't, it's great too. If you want to be just a casual member, just show up to the games, that's perfect. If you want to be more involved and show up to the barbecue, and you want to bring your drinks and do your stuff, I mean, that's kind of like, that's the great part about being in, these kind of families. And I know, like, myself and John, we're not always able to make every single event, but
yeah.
we know that every time we go to an event, people know who we are, and it's
Well,
just,
yeah.
yeah, it's
And the other
nice.
thing that's cool too with this is that you can almost like also like try to collaborate with your other SGs too. Like
Hmm.
I think you guys painted Tifo with locals, right? So I mean there
Yeah,
was some of that collaboration. And so that's the other cool thing that's cool about how building community is. It's not always about just inviting people into your thing. It's about also going into their thing too.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And just being like, hey, look, we just want to
Yeah.
come and hang out with you, and and kind of further that relationship. And when you do those kind of things, I think that takes away a lot of the speculation of like, what are they doing or what are they not doing, or you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
they get
I
to
mean,
see you in two different atmospheres.
exactly, and we do. I mean, the locals and ourselves, we have a great relationship. We're always inviting each other into our own, but at the same time, we have our own organizations. We have our own watch parties. We have our own events. Some they're going to be paying their own tifo. There's going to be a point where we pay our own tifo,
But
but
it's a lot. It takes a lot, right?
it does. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like those events always surprise me, because you would think, you're like, hey, like SG's got hundreds of members. I'm gonna walk into a TIFO session and there's gonna be all kinds of bodies, and there's not really always like that. It's usually maybe just like 5 to 10 people that you know what I mean.
yeah,
And you're like, damn, like, well, so a lot of people have the perspective that these things are going to be like 50, 60 people painting TIFOs, and it's like, and that's why they stay home.
yeah. Yeah.
You
No,
know,
we just gotta extend the invitation, man. Extend the invitation. The more people feel comfortable, the better it is gonna be.
yeah, on the real for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. So I had a interesting question for you, since
Okay.
I've always had an intrigue with New Mexico. Um, I'm gonna be bringing up movies here, but
Let's do
but
it. Let's do it.
I've always loved Western movies. But one of my favorite movies is The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
uh, or like Young Guns, rather. I'm sorry, Young Guns. Why did I say Outsiders? Oh my God! No, I'm
Oh,
talking
with
about Young Guns.
we got Amelia
Yeah,
Estevez in that, right? Yeah.
yeah, the Young Guns, and like how the whole Southwest New Mexico, and I've always thought it to be a beautiful city. But now, obviously now we're obviously 2022. But how is the soccer community over in New Mexico? Um, like, how is it, for example, like on Sundays, on the weekends? Is there soccer pitches around the city? Are people out playing soccer? Like, how has New Mexico United really impacted, like the communities, out in the cities and in the towns around where they play? Like, has it really impacted that? Like, is there a lot of people really going out and just like the soccer culture really growing out there?
The soccer culture was already very strong before United, to be honest.
Um,
I mean, we've like eras of soccer here. We had Albuquerque Asylum back in the day. We had New Mexico Chili's, which was kind of it was a USL D3, which was equivalent to at the time USL Championship, and because it was called A League back in the day, right? So we've had teams in the past, right? And then of course there's just downright the Albuquerque Soccer League, where you have just amateur teams coming together playing, kind of pickup soccer, if you will. So I think it's always been pretty strong, but having United there obviously, has further contributed to the community, because I think it gives opportunity to other areas too. The women's soccer game is heavily supported. Case in point, I have gone to I've gone to a lot of the University of New Mexico women Lobos matches where,
Okay.
where for instance, 700 people were at a conference clinching match, but 1,500 were at the conference championship match in the stadium. And 1,500 is basically selling out the stadium to full capacity. And that was even during the period of social distancing that we had 1,500, right? So because the stadium itself, just in the seats, holds up about 5,000. And then, of course, when they throw out bleachers and stuff, they find ways to make it go up a little bit more. And I think it maybe even holds more than 5,000. But nonetheless, like, the game is highly supported. What United does and how it contributes is that United kind of put their like tastemaker touch on it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, go check out the Lobos tonight, this and that. Things that like the real soccer heads don't really need that sort of endorsement. But when they do it, when they like go, hey, we're changing our kickoff time, so you'll go to this game, it creates a way for other teams to be supported. And you also seen the collaborations between United and like the Lobos, or United and say, when we had Albuquerque FC, you kind of saw some of those collaborations a little bit. So it really does help. And then, of course, you just have so much different types of soccer. You got club soccer. You've got, at different age levels. You got, like I said, the different leagues. You got adults kind of doing teams. Now, the thing that was interesting about your question that made me ponder and think about it, and something I'm going to have to probably challenge myself to, or go take some drives on the weekend, is like, what does it look like on fields on the weekends? Like, I mean, I'm gonna have to go see where they play the Albuquerque Soccer League and see like how many folks are out there watching the average amateur team, right? Like playing, and also just kind of drive around to different places where there are pitches where United has done clinics and say, hey, are there kids out here kicking yellow balls around? Like, what does that look like on the weekend, right? Because we know the basketball game and the football game doesn't slow down. You know what I mean? Like every Thanksgiving, there's dudes out there getting broken off, playing football, and then every Saturday night, there's dudes on the courts 3-on-3. You know what I mean? And they're just doing that for the love.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm gonna have to drive around, dude, and get back to you on a future episode about what does the community game look like on the parks on the weekends? How does the pro team inspire local soccer on just a one-to-one level?
Yeah, I'm very interested in that because, like, again, I've always fell in love with just like the Southwest, kind of like that Old West type, look, like New Mexico and Arizona, those areas. But Albuquerque's always had like an interest in me, just because I have met people before from Albuquerque, and they've always told me how beautiful it was out there in New Mexico. Yeah. And but I really, really have an interest of going out there, possibly next year, hopefully, if Vesti Loyal plays New Mexico again over in New Mexico. So that's something that I'm really interested in seeing and and looking at it myself, just to see how the game has grown, because the USL is growing obviously, and this could be a conversation for another show in the future, but that the whole talk about like the growth of USL, and then the possible promotion, relegation talk and things of that sort, and obviously adding more teams in areas, in certain areas, and where there's not teams right now. But kind of like in relation to that, I'm looking at the map here, and I'm seeing that obviously USL has a team in Colorado, the Colorado Switchbacks, which obviously we mentioned earlier how they're top of the standings right now. But is there a lot of travel in between those teams from, supporters from New Mexico going up to Colorado and watching, New Mexico United play against the Colorado Switchbacks? Is there any like rivalry there? Is there anything going on in between those two clubs?
I think there's been talks about it. We've definitely talked about firing up some sort of a cup with the trailheads. I think we always think about doing like a chili cup, right? Because Colorado does also have green chili, but it's like not hash green chili. It's like this kind of sweet relish kind of vibe. You know what I mean? It doesn't have any heat or anything, so there's always
heat.
It's you know what I mean, man. It's like imagine. What could I say? Like, okay, for instance, like you guys got the carne asada going. You always have the pickled veggies, right? You always got the carrots and like those what are they like beets or you know what I'm talking about? And then there's always that jalapeno, and most people don't get it because they're like, oh, this jalapeno is going to be hot as hell. But most of the time, it's not. It's just this big old looking pepper sitting on the grill. Now, sometimes it is, but the ones I've had lately have not been. So I feel like I can confidently at least say that like not all the jalapenos that I've seen on those grills are hot. And so that's what you get. You get like the fakers, and so
that's a flex right there.
Yeah, and so basically, there's that. But as far as supporters go, United supporters travel to Colorado pretty heavily. When I went there last year, there easily had to be like 60, 70 of us like in one place at one time. And then probably other people who already lived up there who showed up at games too. So, I mean, we could have easily probably had between like 90 and 100 folks in that section. Obviously, when they went to El Paso and I went there this year, we had over 100 people in that section. Phoenix, was not really heavy because I think a lot of folks were kind of tapped with like going to El Paso, and you know what I mean? And you got to make these trips because there wasn't a bus going, or some people, in El Paso, like I said, like 30 people were on a bus, but like over 75, 80 folks drove themselves there or caravan with each other, So those are places that you're going to see a lot of New Mexico fans. And of course, as you know, in San Diego last year, like there were like at least like
there's so many people from you guys.
The section itself was full, right? I mean, there was a lot of heads there. I'd probably have ventured to think it was like 60 to 70 if I looked at it. It could be 50, it could be less, but it definitely looked very full in person, obviously being there. And then so those are places where we travel, and I'm waiting to see what else we got this year as far as that goes. But that's how it's looking.
Yeah, and that was another. I think when you guys came out here, there was another tie, right?
Yeah, it was the first. It was the first late equalizer. This is like I said. This is the back-to-back block party of equalizers. If we, I threw online. If we might need to get we might need to have some sort of a friendly rivalry, some sort of cup. I think they were saying burritos and alcohol, so you just never know what it's going to be. I mean, I need some of those pistos I saw from Asia.
Oh man, that's exclusive right now, man. Maybe next year, but that's exclusive right now. I'm just joking. I think yeah. Honestly, I'll see if I can go buy another 12-pack and stuff, and just have it ready for October when you guys get here.
Nice.
Yeah. Beer
We
stays
gotta
good
call
for it stays good, right? Beer for a couple months.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Alright.
this has been in my fridge for a year, and
Oh,
it's
there you
just a
go.
cold chill, man. So
it. We gotta call it the break the draw cups.
Break the
Break the
ooh,
draw.
draw cup.
break the
'Cause-
draw.
I
Hey,
like
so
that.
you were talking about movies, man. Like they shoot a lot out here. Like I said, Netflix is out here.
yeah,
Plus the Hollywood industry. Like we seen Ludacris being here for a while. Queen Latifah was here for a while. Like I literally sat in a restaurant with Jeff Goldblum. Tall dude with like the leather jacket on, super
yeah,
style, has that rocker style to him. You know what I mean? And so we're always seeing these different celebrities that are here, hearing about them. I think Steve Urkel was here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Jaleel White, you know what I mean? So like, they're always here, and
Yeah.
So were you guys big into like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? Because those are like the obvious in
yeah.
Mexico.
I have to start Breaking Bad. It's been like I started like maybe like the first 2 or 3 episodes and I just never really got it's not that I didn't get into it, it's just that I didn't really have time to continue watching it. Um and it was kind of like that's kind of the way Sons of Anarchy kind of started for me. I always heard about it, I always watched it. Same thing with Game of Thrones, heard about it, watched it. But then when you sit down after a weekend of not doing nothing and not you don't have anything to do and you just sit down and you just keep watching them, it just kind of grows on you. So I think the next time I have nothing to do in the weekend, I have to sit down and watch Breaking Bad for sure.
Yeah, I mean, dude, look, anytime you can drive into a neighborhood in a regular street here and just go and like stand in front of a house and throw a pizza on the roof because that's what they did in the show,
Oh man,
like that's pretty dope. But like obviously now you can't throw pizzas on the lady's roof because
I heard about that.
the minute the people roll up, her garage
Yeah,
goes up and she comes out and she sits down. Like I took my dad there and he was like, I want to check out some Breaking Bad stuff. I said, all right, Dad, I'll take you on a DIY tour. And I took him to all the different spots, that they had in the show. And the last one we got to was like Walter White's house. And he was up there, and then all of a sudden the garage popped up, and my dad ran like twice the speed of like the average man back to the car. He was like, let's go, let's go. I was like, come on, Dad, you just need to get a picture. I said, I'm sure if you ask her if you could just stand in front of the house, like we could get this picture. And so,
just nicely, right?
yeah, we did. But I mean, man, I wish I could have got in back in the days when dudes were just rolling up in bands, like on tour with their tour buses and their vans and just throwing big ass pizzas on the roof.
Yeah.
Who does that? Who does
Dude,
that, man?
if it was me, I would probably put a pizza up there permanently and just charge people like $5 to take a picture.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly, because that would have worked.
yeah, but then you have to start pay taxes on that here in California.
Yeah,
Who knows, man?
that pizza's gonna get bad. You're gonna have to like put a finish on it or something.
Yeah, man. So you gotta make
Um,
sure you kind of. But yeah, no, honestly, dude, there's a lot of stuff that's filmed out in New Mexico. I had no idea.
Yeah, man, but I like some of the stuff you guys got, man. I'm a big what is that spot called? Was it Lucha Libre Taco? Is that spot?
Yeah, Lucha Libre Taco Shop.
it's a
Oh man,
Libre. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that spot, man. With the special golden chair that you could sit in. I think you can get it reserved for your birthday or some junk like that.
Dude, that's actually that's a really good like they got a really good thing there going on, like everybody loves like wrestling and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, next time we're down here, man, we gotta take you to some. I mean, obviously now I think we gotta make the taco official, so we gotta find an official taco of the
yeah.
Chavos. So
You
we'll
guys, I
give you
think
credit.
you guys got to get like like a big old one of those fajita tortillas and kind of get it
Oh
solid.
yeah.
Like so it's like the big one. You know, it's
Yeah, almost like a
enough to
big
feed
flour
two.
tortilla, like the huge one with like a whole slab of like carne, almost like we'll talk about it like behind
Behind,
closed doors, but
yes, yes,
Yeah, we
yes,
don't
maybe
want to
like
get everybody ideas.
a big old slab of carne asada, just have like the ultimate taco and stuff.
yes, 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 yes. It's going to be the opposite of baby corn, right?
Mhm.
Or Beyond Meat. Maybe we can make a protein taco, for
That's going to be like your
like
whole
Guido or
face.
something.
I'm surprised that no one has done that yet because everyone knows that the San Diego Mexican food is like so delicious. Like
Yeah,
I haven't seen a place be like a huge taco, like just a gigantor taco,
right.
you
Well, you
know.
would
And,
think for all of those weird food shows where people are like eating they got to eat the big burger and 5 plates of
yeah,
fries and
Oh, we could do a
all the
California
sides
burrito
for
fight.
and they get it for free. You know what I mean? Like those weird those
Yeah.
places, right?
Hey,
So
have you had a California burrito, by the way, Chris?
from California or a California burrito
From
here?
San Diego. No, California burrito from San Diego. There's
Oh,
only one California in my world.
what? Oh,
Is
well,
there
yeah.
It's just, dude,
is there California burritos in New Mexico?
Yeah, man, they got California, they got Arizona. Like I think the differences are like carne asada and fries, or fries and like certain levels of cheese, and
mhm.
you know what I mean. And so like
Oh,
there's places here that do that, right? And I haven't had a California burrito dubbed a California burrito in Colorado per se, or I'm sorry, California per se. Like it would just be a burrito there, right? So like
So the way I know California burrito, I mean, John might be a little bit different, but there's different places make California burritos a little differently, right? The way I know one, the way I grew up with it, and the way I still get it now is it's carne asada, French fries
yeah,
with sour cream and cheese,
yep,
and I add guacamole. That's the
okay.
way I
yeah,
do it. Yeah. So I don't know if
Yeah,
it's the
that's
same
how
way
they
for you,
are
John.
in most places. Like if you go to Qdoba in
yeah.
Colorado, they do that same thing too. And then here they do the same thing. They put but the tortilla is kind of a how is it done? It's got this different texture to it. Do you know what I mean? Like
It's,
how they
ours
kind
is
of
just a
put it
big
in.
ass flour tortilla. That's it.
Well, that, but then they do it like almost like twice done or something, or it has that kind of the way Alberto's is, where like they kind of it
Kind
has
of
a
like
chimney.
panini press it almost.
It has like a shimmy texture on the outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
no,
it's
no. Ours, the way I
like
like it is just literally
cooks
just
longer or
it's like
something.
it's a blanket of flour flour tortilla. That's the way I like it.
Okay.
Soft, warm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry,
Big
guys.
one.
Yeah, but
Hey,
it comes down to the chili though. You got to have the chili, and that's where the California burrito gets lost on me. There is that you got to have the green chili. You can't have any green chili powder or any of that vibe. You got to have
yeah.
the actual fruit, the vegetable. You know what I mean?
You
So
have
I
a
call it
choice
fruit.
of 5 different salsas you could pick from, man. That's
Nah, man,
you get
it's
to.
it's either smothered with green or red
Oh
or
no!
Christmas, red and
Oh
green
no!
cheese.
All right,
Hey,
we're gonna have
we
to have a
can't.
competition.
Hey, we can't. We can't do this show without knocking on Arizona and
Chandler.
their tasteless ass Arizona burritos. That's like the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my life. I ate one when I was in Arizona, like a long time ago. I was
Yeah.
like, "You guys sell California burritos?" And they're like, "Huh? Like we have an Arizona burrito?" And I was all right, whatever. Let's just try that. It was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my life.
What would
I
you
will
compare
give.
it
I
to
will.
in the realm of fast food? Would you say it was Del Taco, Taco Bell,
Uh,
or one of the generic Albertos? Here we have Philly Bertos, we've got Eddie Bertos. We have all these restaurants where it's TOS on the end of it, like Bertos.
Mhm.
So like, so what would you compare it to, or would it be like one of the really OG spots that's open super late in San Diego?
it was like a Del Taco burrito.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it tasted like to me. Yeah, it was nasty.
Over here wrapping up
Along.
salami and pepperoni and tortillas and putting them on the stove.
Yeah. Along with a
I
lot of
appreciate
other
this.
things that are nasty in Arizona, that was really nasty.
I will give them credit though for the Sonoran dog. That is pretty. That is pretty legit.
The only food I get when I'm in Arizona is going to be In-N-Out, or like I think for a while I was doing Famous Dave's, like the barbecue spot where
Oh yeah.
the pig is the logo. The pig is,
hmm
which is really awkward.
Oh yeah. I recall that.
But other than that, or maybe some barbecue because it smells so good, but there's not really any food that Arizona is known for. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I could be
Well,
completely, I could be completely wrong. We go on the internet and find out that they're known for, some nasty ass
well,
tacos.
well, no wonder their supporters groups are so freaking mad all the time because they ain't got no good food.
I know.
You know.
They just want to
If,
put
if
stickers on everything.
Yeah.
if anybody from Arizona is listening, if you want to prove us wrong, invite us to a barbecue.
Yeah, if you got food, I mean, challenge us. Like
Yeah.
you know, I'm like,
They're hangry. They're hangry over there, man. They got no good food over there.
I mean, look, my first chance to have some Arizona food is if anyone from Phoenix comes to New Mexico in 2 weeks and brings a cooler and says, "Hey, I heard you talking mess about our food. I'm here to prove you wrong." Hey, I'll eat it. Bring it to the tailgate.
Yeah, there's a challenge right there. We're throwing it out there for
Throw
everybody.
it out there.
All right. Yeah, Chandler. We're throwing it out there.
Hey, so what do you guys think about like when you see Chandler playing Carson?
Like, oh, what do you mean, like a LA2?
Yeah, you know, when you see like when you see them playing each other, because you know how we're already calling Phoenix Chandler, and you know
Yeah.
how LAFC supporters call, you know, Galaxy Carson.
Carson.
So it's like when you're seeing that combination matchup.
You know what? I personally, and I think I've talked to John about this as
He's
well.
like, "Oh
I'm
my
not
God,
a
what's
big
your pick?"
fan of MLS two teams playing in the USL. I feel like sometimes it takes a little bit away from the competitive aspect of it,
Right.
because those MLS two teams, they really have yeah, maybe their players are playing for something, but the club's not really playing for much. Um, but I kind of see that as it's like it's anybody that plays LA2 is just kind of like, it's just, I don't know. I really don't see it as a game. I think really they should go to the MLS Next league. Um, and that's kind of why I lost a little respect for Las Vegas Lights a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I really don't like the fact that they're now like strictly affiliated with LAFC. Um, it just feels like it lessens the quality of the league, and I think they have
But they're
to
actually
little.
good though. That's what's crazy about it
Yeah.
is they're actually turning around. And we got to address this. Eric Garcia on YouTube, he's got a food barter for me, a box of green chilies for some pistos. I'll tell you what, Eric, go to the Black Diamonds Twitter, Black Diamonds NM Twitter, and follow it. And then after this episode, I'll follow you back, and we'll figure out how to make that transaction happen.
Dude, just make sure you don't go through the California agricultural stops.
I
If
mean,
you enter,
no, this is definitely going through the cold. This is going to be I'll tell you offline how we're going to do that. But
yeah, all right, we'll do it, man. We'll make sure we'll get you a couple cases of pizza if you ever take back to Albuquerque whenever you come down.
nice.
Yeah. But anyway, man, Chris, we really appreciate you coming in, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Um, we'll make sure we talk before October comes around. We want to make sure we hear about you guys' season, see how everything's going with your supporter group. We really appreciate you, coming in, and thank you for being always so hospitable for us.
Hey man,
Indeed.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You know, you guys are our family. We definitely got to figure out in the future, you know, how to do the Chavos. Let me see. Veronica says it's Diamantes
Oh,
Negros. So we
oh,
Yeah.
might have to do a combo scarf or some sort of shirt. You know, we have to get Adrian on his cool ass artwork and figure
yeah, there you
something
go.
out about this.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do like a Chavos and Black Diamonds supporter scarf. Like, whoever wins the series for the season gets that scarf.
Ooh,
That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah,
okay.
we just
That's
started
funny.
something. Yeah, we're inventing tacos as a gift for the man of the match, and now we're
Love it.
doing scarves for.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Let's
do it,
let's
man.
let's let's mess around with that. We go way back to Fiesta Island.
Yep, there you go, man. We'll make it something, dude. We're it's a think tank over here.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, John. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you being up with us. I know it's pretty late over there too. So,
All right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
all right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right.